You're listening to Support Creative Souls podcast, highlighting and supporting inspiring creatives, plus a few shoe stories to help kick up your innovative journey. Hosted by me, Stephanie V.
Welcome everybody to my new podcast, Support Creative Souls. I'm so excited to bring something so new and special. We're going to be talking with a lot of creative, amazing people, and I want to just jump on in it and get started here and with my first amazing guest. Yay! This is Regina Moretto, and Regina, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Okay, I am the founder of Zucchero Styling. I am a creative director, a wardrobe stylist, and of course a fashion photographer. I got started recently in the fashion photography bit, but I was led to that through the creative direction of wardrobe styling, which I started about a good 9 years ago.
And are you located here in Houston, or where, some of the different people that you have worked with, have they been all over?
A little bit of both. I'm located here in Houston, but I commute back and forth to Los Angeles, where my clients are based.
I love Cali. I wish to be back in California at some point in my life. But we're here in Texas, and we're going to focus on that. As far as, being a creative director, what does that entail? So if someone's listening as what is a creative director? Can you tell us a little bit more about the projects that you've worked on?
A creative director is basically the puppet master. They put all the creatives together to make a really good gumbo, using our Texas, Louisiana terms.
I like that.
So they coordinate with the photographer, the hairstylist, the makeup artist, the wardrobe stylist, and initially come up with a concept and source the right individuals, the right creatives for that project. Now, we do a lot of creative stuff on our own, as well as working directly with designers and brands to produce the visuals that you all see for marketing campaigns, whether it be like Gucci or Fendi, whatever. They all have a creative director that comes up with that whole aesthetic.
Right.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't understand that it is essential to have a creative director. It's, people think they just got together and they, thought about this idea and it just came to life. There's so many people behind the scenes that are actually making this come to light and come to your TV, and even as just like a one picture, you think you just put on a cute outfit and you go take a picture. No, there's a whole creative idea that has to come together and create a story, a brand story for you to understand, right?
Yes, putting that cohesive vision together, because the photographer may have his ideas about the concept, the makeup artist may have their ideas, and again, they're creating a symphony. They're bringing it all together and saying, this is the aspect, this is the angle, this is how we want to stay focused, and it's really fun.
Right. So tell me, what has been one of your biggest challenges or something you've had to triumph in this industry?
So many.
It's like, where should I start?
Yes.
Okay, so give us 3.
Okay. The funny thing is value. When just what you were touching on about people identifying and understanding the value that a creative director brings to a project, and seeing, because it's like, well, I have the photographer, I have this, why do I need you? Right. And it's that aspect of being able to take your ideas and translate them to the photographer technically, to be able to take that and say to the makeup artist, this is what she's looking for, this is what the client wants and needs, and then balancing that, the expectations, and just having that, I guess that like the translator to make everything, it's really like pulling everything together. In addition to that, some of the challenges I face can include or be just the market. It's a lot different for me in LA than it is here in Houston. In LA, I just get off the plane and I'm like, I'll pull here and talk to these people, because the environment and the industry for creatives is very supportive in LA. In Houston, it's like, you're doing what? With who? Do I know them? What is it? And it's so
I noticed
funny.
that a lot too, coming from the New York, and just knowing it was harder to find some band members here. It was harder for me to get things organized. We're in New York and people are like starving and they just want to be creative. And not that we don't, and Houston has just become more and more creative since I've been here, probably over the last 6 years.
Yes.
But when I first got here, it was just like hard to find those people that were just starving and wanted to be do something different or creative. So I completely understand
There's a funny term that's used in economics about where it's saying that poor people are just inconvenience millionaires. I think that's what it is with like people in Houston, the artists. They're starving artists, but they're just temporarily right now. Like they're just in transition, and it's like, no, I'm hungry.
It's true.
Hungry.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I moved to New York, because I knew that there was something here for me, but I knew that I was starving to be more creative, be on a hustle and a grind, and I knew that was there. So those are some really great challenges. You know, I'm sure there's plenty more being. When so many people have so many different opinions, it's really, really hard to come together and really bring that idea to life. And as creatives, we all have our ways of, what we think is good, cool, and what we think is right, and what we see for ourselves as an artist.
And our expertise and what we did with this last person.
Yes, and I've been one of those people, so I will say that. But I have a vision for my life. Okay, for my brand, I have a vision. No, anyway.
Yes.
So, who in this field? There's so many people, and not just as a creative director, but you're also wardrobe stylist. You're also a photographer. So, a lot of people, have that mentor, or someone that they look up to in this field. I mean, I could sit here and I have many, but who is like maybe one that you think comes to mind really quick?
Now, so many, but I really admire my peers. I surround myself with people who are doing things on the level that I aspire to do.
Yeah, I love that.
So here in Houston, I would say Stevie D. He's a photographer, excellent fashion photographer, beautiful editorials.
Stevie, can we shoot?
Yes. Hey, Stevie. Little shameless plug there from a bro. Definitely Demetrius Ward. He's amazing, talented. I could go on and on about this guy. I am so lucky and proud to call him my brother. He's taught me a lot of things about photography and even styling. He would take me aside and say, hey, look at this, and really encouraged me when I became interested in photography. He's like, you have an eye, you should do it. And I've been flourishing. So I would say on my level, the two of them. I guess celebrity-wise, my mentor, Carl Kanai, he's an amazing guy. I guess, again, shameless plug there for him. Growing up, we saw the brand. It was on everything. I was hanging it with Mr. Cooper with my kids on Hulu, and they're like in love with this show. And I'm looking and I'm just like, Carl Kanai. And I'm like, I get to work with this guy. I'm meeting this man. I mean, he worked with Tupac and Michael Jackson and Biggie Smalls, and not anyone in hip hop in the culture. No. From the beginning to now, he's dressed them. He's worked with them. So I
guess it's safe to say that those are some of the people that you actually draw your inspiration from. And now, and isn't it funny how like you can sit back and you've watched your shows and you've watched him style people and there's clothes, and then now like you're actually brought him into your universe and what you're doing, and it's all kind of come together.
Law of attraction, baby.
It gives me chills because I love talking to people and hearing their stories about how they've had this vision or they were doing this or that, and how all of a sudden, they met this person or they wanted to work with this person, and then they were like, it all came together. And it's like, and that brings me to my next question is like, do you believe that you created your own? One of my biggest mottos is I believe in creating your own destiny.
Yes.
And, following your destiny, I know it's, but do you feel that way as well? Do you feel like you paved your way to what you're doing now?
I do. I really think, or I really believe, I feel that I manifested this for myself. Yes. I manifested this opportunity. I manifested getting to work with Carl, meet and work with Carl. And it sounds a little braggadocious, but I really, really did.
But we love braggadocious.
Yes, I really did. I saw an opportunity. somehow he came up in my timeline on Instagram. I DM'd his person, whoever manages his Instagram account, and was like, I have this client, actress Imani Hakeem. I would love to do something with your collection. He said, email me here. And turns out it was Carl all along. And I was like, oh my God. So he said, meet me here on this day. And I was just like, I'm going to be there. And it's funny because I had a ticket for a particular airline, a little ghetto commuter flight to we're not gonna say their name.
When we got to be wherever we need to be, it doesn't matter
for $50.
Yeah,
and it was last year on Juneteenth. And when I tell you, I was packing at midnight, and they canceled all flights for that airline for that day. Yes, girl, I was just like, Juneteenth. I mean, we already feel some type of way about this particular airline, but I mean, all your flights out of Texas are canceled on Juneteenth. I'm here for the culture, but I got work to do. It was
I'm having a hard time understanding this, please.
Yes. And so I called right then. I called and gave them a piece of my mind. I bought another ticket on Continental. I was like, y'all go blah, 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 blah. Got a hold of Continental. I love them. I always fly them now. Yeah. Flew there. Got there an hour before the appointment, the meeting with him.
Yeah.
Jumped in an Uber. Drove over there.
Well,
and was like,
you know that things will work out, but God's not going to make them easy for you.
Not at all.
He has to know how bad you want this to work.
I believe in that.
That has been my whole career. It's like, oh yeah, I mean, sure, you can sing or you can record an album, but it's not going to be that easy. Like, I'm gonna make you jump. I'm gonna make you run. I'm gonna make you find cat. You know, it's just not. But when it's meant to be, and he sees how hard you've worked, then it's meant to be.
My great-grandmother says, or used to say, anything worth wanting is worth working for.
Yes.
And it literally was that. So I don't get frustrated or upset now when things like this happen, because it's like,
yep,
this is just my trials and tribulations, my test. Like, do I want this? Can I make it happen?
And that's just something that as a creative person and anybody in their lives start to realize, instead of like worry or stress, or I mean, obviously that's always going to be with you, but if it's meant to happen, it's just going to happen. And it's taken me this long to finally just live with that and breathe that and know that, you know, okay, and if it doesn't, it was not meant to be.
Yes,
right?
Releasing it and saying, all right, that wasn't for me this time, but when I'm ready for it, I'll come right back around.
Yeah, you know, I envisioned this podcast a long time ago. I've wanted to sit down with creative people and ask them about their destiny, and the fact that it's now here and we are here, you know, it's just something that I write down and things happen. I don't know.
That's manifesting.
Manifesting it.
Yes.
So the other thing I want to talk to you about, and move on a little bit from manifesting, but also, is, as you know, I have a movement called Follow My Feet, where we're motivating the youth to actually pursue their career of choice, follow their passion, figure out what they want to do in life. And you spoke about your daughter. She wants to be a doctor since 7, and she's already taking on that path.
Yes.
And so I wanted to bring in a kick-in aspect to talk about a little bit about shoes, because we are Follow My Feet, bringing in creative souls. And so a couple of questions as a, you know, stylist, and so as a shoe expert, how important is it for the shoe in your overall look and your overall style? Like, is that the last thing that you pull? Like for me, I pick up the outfit and then I think of the shoe. Some people think of the shoe and then pick up the outfit. But which way is it for you?
I like to do both. It depends on the client. So sometimes if they're a big fan of shoes, where shoes are their statement piece, then you pull the shoes and you build the look around the shoes. Because you don't want the outfit to compete with the shoe.
Right.
Some people, it's like create the look and then wow, I have a stunning shoe too. That's kind of like understated, but still like that. So I would say you can do it both ways. But for me personally, I pull an outfit. For me, I put something together and then I'm like, and this shoe is the accessory.
That's why I like to look at a shoe as the accessory, unless I'm like, you know, wearing sneakers. But even sneakers is like nowadays is the accessory.
Yes. They are the statement piece.
And this goes to the next question, is like, what is your everyday go-to shoe? Mine is, it used to be a flip-flop because I love to be casual, but I love to be cute. But now it's a sneaker. You know, you guys know that I've been modeling shoes for a long time, and I've worked with kids for like 6 years, so I have a box full of them. And they're like my go-to with the skirt, jeans, you know, you just want to be comfortable, but cute, I guess, casual cute.
Yes. I would say my personal go-to shoe is a sneaker. It's a tennis shoe. Right now, I was looking online at like some of the new Nike Air Maxes, like, and they have this color called sand, and I'm like, yes,
I want that. Yes. I have like, I just got a white, but I want like a good nude sand or something like that. But
yes.
And so you were telling me too that like that's what your like you didn't wear sneakers to the show, and that's okay. We went with cute sandals.
Yes.
But you were telling me that that's your like go-to is like, you know, Nikes, cute sneaker, and I think a lot of people. I know my boyfriend. He is a sneaker head. Like he'll be waiting in line. He'll go online and register, and a lot of people have gone back to like those old school sneakers. Like you were saying, K-Swiss,
Fila. Yes.
And I used to love K-Swiss.
Yes.
I had one pair because that's all we could afford, and I don't even know how we bought them. But I used to shine those up.
With so a little nice toothbrush. And
yes. And so your different clients, I'm sure that they have like their own. How do you go about pulling for different clients? You know, shoes in particular.
Let's see. So they all have their own personal style that I like to bring out. I don't want to make my clients feel like cookie cutters, like this is my style and I'm just putting it on each and every one of you.
Right.
As a stylist, you have to kind of understand and interpret their level of comfortability, their identity, because I feel like the way you dress is your canvas, your marketing billboard that you can say, this is who I am, your story, and how you feel about yourself that day or where you want to go. So
when you're also recreating people's stories, you know.
Exactly. I've been called in to do that for some of my clients. Yeah. With that, I like to start off by just talking to them about colors. What colors do you like to wear? What colors do you identify with? Yeah. And then kind of go from there.
I like bright colors and I'm kind of
like earrings.
Earrings. I've got these. I'll tag the person who gave these to me. But so since we are talking to the youth, and some youth might be watching the show or listening, I want to say, like, in your shoes, you know, you want people to follow what you're doing as a stylist, and there are a lot of kids nowadays that want to be stylists or creative directors, and they just don't know like how to get started, where to get started, or even know that it's a career option. You know. So what would you tell like a young creative who's currently trying to get into your field, or tell them like where you were 5 years ago, you know, something like that? Was that like a hard, like confusing question?
It's like layers. It's an onion.
Sorry, I'm trying to add all the questions together.
I would say for a young creative that is trying to get into the industry today, that they would want to start with just do. So if you want to be a stylist, grab some cute clothes, put together outfits on yourself or your friends. Grab your friends and say, hey, let me dress you today. Let me put these outfits together, because a lot of times I think our youth get hung up on that Instagram polished, refined look, and they're just like, well, if I had a camera, if I knew this, just start. Just start.
I think a lot of us, you know, still get so caught up in like what social media is doing, and I know for the youth it's too. But you're right. You just have to take that first step and start with your friends. Start with your parents.
Your friends, your parents, anybody that will let you just use what you have. I'm big on that. Always use what you have. Start there. Try to grab them and dress them up, and then take pictures. These phones are crazy these days with the type of photography you can create. Take pictures, upload them, share them, talk to other friends, and find other friends who are like you, who are interested in the fashion industry, and collaborate, especially for Texas. Internships, just find ways to get your foot in the door to be around the industry that you want to do.
Right. Oh, that is such great advice and such a good start, and I'm sure that's where you are coming from as well, because you know, a lot of people think like, oh, they just, you know, started doing and working, but there's a lot of work that takes to get as good and really create your own craft, to be able to feel comfortable and confident enough to sell your brand and what you have to do to other people. I ask you if you want to have a shameless plug that you'd like to
I'm all for
give everybody your
shameless
Instagram.
plugs.
Where can they
No
find
shame.
you? What can they do?
You can find me on Instagram at Zucchero Styling. I'll spell it for you. ZUCCHEROSTYLING. That's one more time. Zucchero Styling. One more again for the people in the back. ZUCCHEROSTYLING. Zucchero Styling, creative director, photographer, fashion stylist extraordinaire.
Yes, and she will come to you. She travels LA, New York, wherever.
Have bags will travel.
Bags will travel. Thank you so much, guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at
Outtakes.
Thank you. Oh God, I'm tired. Thank you so much, you guys. Make sure you follow us on Support Creative Souls on Instagram. We are going to also have a Facebook page where this is going to live, and also on our Instagram TV. So make sure and follow us. Thank you. Besos. Peace.
That's all for Support Creative Souls podcast. I hope you enjoyed. Stay tuned for next time and make sure and follow us on social media at Support Creative Souls.